Come here, come here. Glad you're here. Our job is to hang here, stay low, remain quiet, and look for anything unusual out there. One of the other LPOP posts notified that they saw a group of people walking the perimeter of our property. Now, they couldn't get a close enough look at them to see if they were armed or if they were just another group of refugees passing through the area. But they notified us just a few minutes ago that they were crossing over to that side of our property. So now our job is just to make sure that they stay out of our property and they don't come in. You got that? Hey, why do I smell alcohol on your breath? Were you drinking again last night? Hey man, we need you to be at peak performance. We don't need you half drunk and hungover. Did you at least set the traps out there last night like you were told to? You did? Okay. Man, you gotta cut this heavy drinking stuff out. It's dangerous to the whole... They're here! They're here! Why aren't the traps going off? Didn't you set them? Why aren't they going off? You lied! You didn't set them! You lied! There's too many! There's too many of them! Sector 4 to base! Sector 4 to base! We're getting attacked! We're about to get overran! Ah! Hey everybody, welcome to my bug out location. And in the post-collapse scenario video that we just watched, we saw where disaster happened because a prepper group allowed a subpar member to be part of their group. So to stop this from happening to you after SHTF, or to save your prepper group a ton of headaches even before SHTF happens, we are going to go over 10 hard rules that your prepper group needs to have. Rule number 1, you need to make sure that you are not part of a group that either talks about or plans to purchase or make explosives. Talking about making or buying explosives is a really quick way to get your group on the Fed's radar. You gotta remember, everything that you are saying gets picked up by your phone and gets put into an algorithm. And if it's not getting picked up by your phone, then it's getting picked up by somebody else's phone. Rule number 2, you wanna make sure that you are not part of a group that is either talking about or planning buying parts that will convert their weapons into fully automatic weapons. Again, this. Rule number 3, you want to make sure that your group is not talking about or planning a violent overthrow of the government. Again, quick way to grab attention of the feds. Rule number 4, don't allow really extreme people in your group. Now I know, us conservative preppers are already considered extremists, but that guy with the swastika on his neck, probably not a good guy to have in your group. Or that sovereign citizen that says he's going to shoot it out with the police rather than pay a ticket for driving without a driver's license, probably another person, not good for your group. Simply put, people that are to the far extremes, either left or to the right, they draw the attention of the federal government. So if you have people like that in your group probably won't even make it to a grid down situation. And folks, I do realize that there are a handful of instances where feds have infiltrated some kind of a group and then putting people up to do stuff just so they could bust them, but that is not the norm. That is the exception, not the norm. The norm is that there are not enough feds to plant an undercover guy in every type of group that's out here in the United States. The norm is that your group has to do something to catch the attention of the feds before they want to put an undercover guy in your group. And folks, I have worked in government for 20 years, so I know what gets the government's attention and what doesn't. And doing things like talking about explosives or converting your firearms into fully automatic or violently overthrowing the government or highly illegal, dangerous things is what draws their attention that will end up with somebody glowing in your group. You just have to remember that besides worrying about prepper groups, the feds also have to worry about outlaw motorcycle gangs, street gangs that are running huge amounts of narcotics, racist organizations, whether they're black or white, and then also far left and also far right groups that are wanting to violently overthrow the government. So the important thing to remember is that if you belong to a fairly mundane group, chances are you're not going to attract the attention of the feds. Now let's get on with this. Rule number 5, no hotheads in your group, because people that are hotheads, they have a tendency to spout off, blow up, and either take actions that weren't appropriate for that time or say things that can really inflame the situation. And hotheads have a tendency, if they're associated with you, hotheads have a tendency to get themselves in trouble and then also end up getting you in a hot spot yourself. Rule number 6, don't have people in your group that make poor life decisions. People that make a lot of poor decisions are always struggling. They're usually out of money, or they're usually in some kind of legal hot water or something like that. And then if you are associated with them, usually their troubles affect you and the group also. And just the simple fact is that if they are having problems in their own life, they are probably not able to focus on advancing their preparedness. Therefore, they are being a weak member of your group. Number 7, you don't want any half-hearted people in your group. Half-hearted people that don't take things seriously, that don't meet the goals that the group sets. They will drag your group down. So if they're not taking it seriously, if they're not trying to reach the goals that you set as a prepper group, they need to go. And by the way, if you are watching this video on YouTube, you should go over to Rumble and watch my channel there. A lot of us YouTube preppers are going over to Rumble because Rumble does not censor us like YouTube does. So to find my channel, go over to rumble.com and search ethical preparedness in the search bar. Rule number 8, no hardcore drug users in your group. Now, I'm not talking about somebody that smokes a little bit of marijuana here and there. I am talking about people that are using things like heroin or meth or really strong narcotic painkillers. More times than not, people like that are going to end up stealing from you. They're not going to have the money to continue their prepping. And then if SHTF happens and they can't get those drugs anymore, they're probably going to pop off. Number 9, you do not want any dishonest people in your group. We all know people that lie and lie and lie. And the simple fact is that if it is after SHTF, you need to be able to rely on the rest of your prepper group. You need to know that if they tell you something, that it is true. Rule number 10, you do not want any pink or purple-haired screaming liberals in your group. Now, I'm not talking about somebody that's maybe just not as conservative as you. I'm talking about the purple-haired screaming liberal that has a Che Guevara t-shirt on and they're spouting off the Communist Manifesto. The reality is that in a post-collapse situation, old-fashioned conservative values will probably be needed to survive. I'm talking about both a mom and a dad raising a child, the father being a manly role model, the mother being a female role model, hard work ethic, etc. Simply put, extreme liberals do not agree with those values, and that will put your group at risk. And here's a bonus one for you, number 11. The people that's in your group should be people that you have known for a really long time and you trust. These should be people that you have been to their house, you have seen their wife, you have seen their children, you have maybe even visited them at their job. Those are going to be the type of people that you know you can trust. So what are some hard and fast rules for prepper groups that I may have missed? Comment down below with your suggestions. And in a post-collapse situation, something like a simple cut can become infected and kill you. So to see a whole playlist where you learn how to make antiseptics and natural medicines to help with high blood sugar and natural medicines to help with high cholesterol or headaches or what other common ailments, then click on the video that should be appearing on the screen just about now to learn what most other preppers don't know. Anyways, folks, this is enough internet for me today. I do need to get back to work. And folks, if you made it this far, hey, thank you very much for watching, and I pray that you have a good night.